what's up everybody? If you've been following this channel or our Twitch channel, you probably know that we are very big Final Fantasy fans.
Oh, it's got a nice rack.
Sure.
And if you've been paying any attention to the news, you've probably seen a lot of leakers talking about the Final Fantasy IX remake. The Final Fantasy IX remake was first rumored back in the Nvidia leak, and nobody really believed it when it happened. And then, sure enough, as the years have went on, it seems there's more and more proof that this is actually real, and this is actually being worked on, and this is actually coming within the next year, 2 years, 3 years, at some point in the short future. And while Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite games, it's actually one of Lori's least favorite games, partly due to the art style. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because usually when you remake a game and bring it into the future, you are sort of modernizing its gameplay mechanics, you're modernizing its systems and its technology that it uses, and you are also changing the art style. But I cannot imagine them doing that with Final Fantasy IX because the character's art style pretty much is the characters. I think we can all agree the art style for Final Fantasy IX is very divisive, but it is also extremely important to that game. Put yourselves into the shoes of a gamer in the year 2000, and you see this in the stores. It was kind of weird to see this chibi art style, this super deformed art style. For me, I loved it. You know, I grew up playing Mega Man and such, and there were other Japanese games that all relied on the super deformed chibi art style, and I didn't have a problem with it, but many people did. Let's not lie to ourselves. A lot of people did, especially in 1999 when there were games like Shenmue being hyped, Soul Calibur, you had the Dreamcast, you had a lot of great games being shown with this realistic future of graphics technology, and then all of a sudden you get little chibi Zidane. It was a little surprising. It was a little shocking when people saw that, and it shocks people to this day to see the art style of this game. But it is so important to those characters that even in the Dissidia games, Square kind of keeps Zidane looking a little weird, a little chibi, a little super deformed. He doesn't really look like the other characters. They make Kuja look a little bit more human, but he even still looks a little deformed there.
I'm tired of your song and dance!
Compared to the rest of the characters. So it's true that even Square Enix themselves views Zidane and Kuja's appearance in super deformed and chibi art style from Final Fantasy IX to be very important to their characters. The reason why I bring that up is because in the year 2025, are we better than we were in 1999, 2000? Are we more accepting to this art style? Are we more or are we less? And if you ask me, I think we're less accepting to the art style. So when I see them make a business decision like remaking Final Fantasy IX, which is one of my favorite games, instead of being happy, I'm more terrified for how bad this is going to sell. I don't see people buying this game because so many people wrote it off in the year 2000, and still retro gamers to this day continue to write it off solely because of the art style. And I cannot imagine a Final Fantasy IX or these characters being redesigned to look realistic, to look with any other sort of art style. It's just a staple of Final Fantasy IX to have the chibi super deformed characters. So anything against that kind of goes against the game. Even Final Fantasy VII with the remake for that, they have stayed as true as possible with the art style with Final Fantasy VII. They can't do that with 9. They really can't, or nobody's gonna buy it. It's strange because, like I said, when you do a remake, you want to pick a game that you can bring to the future, right? You can bring to modern times, and you can fix the things that kind of didn't work and also give it a modern spin, a modern take. For instance, if you were going to take Final Fantasy II and remake that, that is a prime candidate for a remake, right? It is a fantastic game with a fun storyline and all these things, great mechanics, and just wasn't really done well, right? You have to beat your own characters up, you have to do all these weird things, you take one wrong step to the left, all of a sudden you're fighting level 99 monsters. It's a mess from a mechanics and gameplay perspective. But it has so much charm and so many things that are important to Final Fantasy. You might want to remake it. You might want to fix these things and bring it into the modern era, right? Prime candidate. Final Fantasy VIII. Everybody hates the draw system. I like the draw system. I like the magic system of that game. I like the junction system. Final Fantasy VIII. Everybody hates the draw system. Everybody hates the magic system. So you remake it and you fix it. You give it a new spin. You give it a new take, new modern style. That's a game that you can fit. Final Fantasy IX, the thing that everybody hates about it is the art style, which is the most important thing to the game. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? And that's why I'm like, why are you remaking 9? Like, I like 9. I love 9. I love that it was a throwback to my childhood as an adult, or I wasn't an adult, but I was a teenager when it came out. So I loved it, that it was like, oh, it's the crystals are back and this is back, because you know, 7, 8, you know, kind of went away from the Final Fantasy blueprint. And so it was like, oh, it was like so close to my heart. I played it, I loved it. It was fantastic. But as somebody who also has to constantly hear in the modern era, and like Square Enix's press releases constantly saying how their games are all doing terrible and they're all performing terribly and the sales are all terrible, and then I hear that they're remaking Final Fantasy IX, I'm like, what are you... Out of all the decisions, that's the one you make? The one that everybody hates the art style for, but the art style is so important to the game that you can't even fix the thing if you were going to bring it into the modern era. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's so strange, right? Whereas a game like 6, if you want to remake that, you can do whatever you want with the art style. But super deformed chibi art is what made 9 so important. And like I said, they continue with that art style whenever they bring Zidane back, or whenever they use him, or whenever they use Garnet, or whenever they use any of these other characters. They continue with their chibi art, with their super deformed art. So Square Enix knows it's important to these characters. So when you think, honest question, viewers, when you think Final Fantasy IX Remake, how do you picture the characters? Do you picture them chibi, and do you picture them super deformed? Because of course you do. So so right off the bat, we're going into bad territory. The game didn't sell, the game didn't sell well compared to like 10 and 7. I don't believe it did, because so many people didn't play it because of the art style. So here we are in 2025, and I'm going to reiterate, do you think we as gamers are more accepting to this art style and this idea that, because we're not. Come on, look at all the grifting YouTubers right now, like pushing out all sorts of weird content, right? We're not ready for this. We're not. Let's be real. And so I know we're going to get another, when this gets released, we're going to get another press release from Square saying how much of a financial disaster this was. We're going to play it and we're going to be happy. You know, us who I'm speaking to, me and you, we're going to play it and we're going to love it. We're going to be happy because we're getting to see Zidane, we're getting to see Kuja, we're getting to see all these people again, and we get to watch our little VV child go out and die. Like, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun, right? But everyone, it's such, from a business perspective, from a game development perspective, from I want to make money perspective, this makes no sense. It makes no sense at all, right? It just doesn't. It's weird. It's entirely weird. So I'm kind of curious, from a remake perspective, bringing a game from the past and fixing mechanics and changing it to make it more modern with its technology, modern with its mechanics and all of that, you know, don't have to worry about rentals, so we don't have to make the game super hard, and we don't have to do this to combat piracy. You know, modern technology, modern solutions to gameplay. What would you pick? Because I wouldn't pick 9. Like I said, 2 is one that deserves to be cleaned up and brought into the modern era. You have 3, which has been done. They've done that with it. 4, again, they've done that with the 3D remakes and all of that for 4. So What would you bring? Of course, Tactics, which is a big rumor. That's, of course, a great candidate for a remake, especially with how well Fire Emblem has done, how well Project Triangle has done, Triangle Strategy has done, how well Octopath has done, how well XCOM, the modern interpretation of XCOM, has done. There's good metrics, good analysis to bring Tactics into the future, into the present day. Which apparently is happening. Tactics Ogre was a crazy call. Like, that did really well. So you would think that with that doing well, then Tactics is a shoo-in. There's other games besides 9 that if I were a company and I wanted to make money, I would choose ahead of 9. And like I said, as a 9 fan, you just have to admit that. You have to. You gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta be honest. Like, it's a great game, but do we want to go down? Do we want to hear the bullshit complaints about the art style? Do we? Do you? I don't. So what do we do? And here we are. So, like I said, I'm curious. Do you think this is a good decision? Do you think this is a good business decision? Are you happy with this? Do you, like I said, do you think it's going to be super deformed? Do you think it's going to be chibi? How do you think the art style is going to be? I have so many questions that I'm wondering what the general Final Fantasy fan thinks of this. Because I don't think many people are stopping and going back and thinking about it. They're just thinking Final Fantasy 9 remake means I'm happy. But they're not thinking about the big picture. Like, oh, wait a second, is this really a smart decision? So, kind of curious what you guys think. That's what I think. I love Final Fantasy 9. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I think this is stupid. I'm going to play it. I'm going to love it. But hey, if it bankrupts Square, I called it. Because I don't see it selling well. I think people are still going to be upset with the chibi art style. I think people are still going to be upset with the super deformed stuff. I think people are still going to... I just don't think anything has changed from when this game was released to now to make it so that this art style is just going to like be booming, right? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Yep, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow us on Twitch. Like I said, it's funny to me because Lori loves all the Final Fantasies except 9. She's never played 9 because she cannot get past the art style. And she's an artist, right? She's a graphic designer, artist, and she's like, I just hate it. I just can't look at it, right? That's what she thinks with Final Fantasy 9. She's played all the other ones. She's beaten like most of them, I think. 9 won't touch. Art style, too much for her. And like, you have to remember that that's the majority. That's a lot of people. Maybe not the majority. Maybe the majority. It might be the majority. We might be talking about the majority here. And it's like, is this really what we want to do, right? So, I don't know. Weird times to like see Final Fantasy 9 remake being talked before Final Fantasy 7 remake is finished. And we haven't even seen anything about 9. We haven't even touched anything about 9, but it's still being leaked. It's still like dripping out, you know? It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird time. So I guess buckle up your pants and get ready, because apparently we're going to be hearing about it in the next year or so. Get ready. As somebody who lived through the Final Fantasy 9 reveal and saw all the gaming journalists all shitting on it. I saw everybody shitting on it. Like, like I said, you got like Shenmue standing right there, and then you got to see little Zidane, and you were just like, damn, what are you doing, right? Like, I was there. Like, Soul Calibur was out, like I said, and it was just like, what are we doing? Square, what are we doing? So I don't know if we can do this again. I don't know if I can do it again. If ever, the world just shitting on the art style and the graphics and everything. I don't know. So we'll see. So, all right, like, follow, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I think I'm going to be playing Monster Hunter tonight. So yeah, I just wanted to do this because I saw once again another leaker talking about 9, and I'm like, everybody in the comments were just like, woo, yeah, this is gonna be such a big hit. This is such a smart decision. And I'm like, is it?